Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today I am going to be talking about my anticipated releases for October. I have, I think, about 15. There are a couple sequels. I'm not going to go into synopsis for those, just because they're sequels. And I don't want to spoil anyone, especially myself, because some of these I have not read the first book for, but I still really want to get the second books because I am a firm believer in reading everything in one go. Let's get into it. The first one I have is The Death of Jane Lawrence, and this is by Caitlin Starling. I have my computer here, so I will be reading you the synopsis for each of these. So let's get into it. Practical, unassuming Jane Shoringfield has done the calculations and decided that the most secure path forward is this: a husband in a marriage of convenience who will allow her to remain independent and occupied with meaningful work. Her first choice, the dashing but reclusive Dr. Augustine Lawrence, agrees to her proposal with only one condition: that she must never visit Lindridge Hall, his crumbling family manor outside of town. Yet on their wedding night, an accident strands her at his door in a pitch-black rainstorm, and she finds him changed. Gone is the bold, courageous surgeon, and in his place is a terrified, paranoid man, one who cannot tell reality from nightmare and fears Jane is an apparition come to haunt him. By morning, Augustine is himself again, but Jane knows something is deeply wrong at Lindridge Hall, and with the man she has so hastily bound her safety to. Set in a dark mirror version of post-war England, Starling crafts a new kind of gothic horror from the bones of the beloved canon. This Crimson Peak inspired story assembles then upends every expectation set in place by Shirley Jackson and Rebecca, and will leave readers shaking, desperate to begin again as soon as they are finished. I forgot to say that this comes out on October 5th. The next few books come out on October 5th. I'm really excited for this one. I've heard a lot of hype for it, and I'm equally interested in this book. Next we have Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. Again, this is a sequel, so I'm not going to go over it. Just know that this comes out on October 5th, which is today. I am filming, so I don't know if this will go up on the 5th or if it'll go up on the 6th, but it comes out October 5th. Next I have Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I loved her Sorcery of Thorns, and The Enchantment of Ravens was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. But I still want to pick up this book. She is kind of like a hit or miss for me so far, so I'm hoping that this one will be a hit. It is part of a series, which she usually does standalones, so this is gonna be interesting. The dead of Laurel do not rest. Artemisa is training to be a Grace Sister, a nun who cleanses the bodies of the deceased so that their souls can pass on. Otherwise, they will rise as spirits with ravenous hunger for the living. She would rather deal with the dead than the living, who trade whispers about her scarred hands and troubled past. When her convent is attacked by possessed soldiers, Artemisa, I don't know if that's how you say her name. Artemisa defends it by awakening an ancient spirit bound to a saint's relic. It is a revenant, a malevolent being that threatens to possess her the moment she drops her guard. Wielding extraordinary power almost consumes her, but death has come to Laurel, and only a Vespertine, a priestess trained to wield a high relic, has any chance of stopping it. With all knowledge of Vespertine's loss to time, Artemisa turns to the last remaining expert for help, the Revenant itself. As she unravels a sinister mystery of saints, secrets, and dark magic, her bond with the Revenant grows. And when a hidden evil begins to surface, she discovers that facing this enemy might require her to betray everything she has been taught to believe, if the Revenant doesn't betray her first. So again, this is a series. It also comes out obviously October 5th. Super excited. The cover is stunning. I'll get to it hopefully soon, whenever I pick up a copy. Next I have A Curse in Ash by Julie Xantopoulos. She is a booktuber on BookTube, and she also kind of does AuthorTube too. But she wrote a book, and I am really excited to see what this book is about, honestly, because the cover is really pretty, and so it's finally nice to see her publish her book. So everyone knows you don't mess with Fae on a new moon, but the Fae that Aisling Quinn deals with don't need a thin veil to cross and jeopardize her carefully created life. As a powerful witch, she's battled for agency in realms determined to control her. Now she has a circle of friends she loves, a job where she excels, and a craft she's perfecting. Enter a handsome stranger magically linked to her and the Fae fiancé who won't leave her side until threats against her life stop. As if that will ever happen. Aisling has trained in magic use, self-defense, and secrecy, but no amount of training prepared her for a curse that hits so close to home. Then again, she never anticipated having two men by her side, ready to fight and die with her. With a diverse cast of characters and no shortage of danger or romance, the explosive world of A Curse in Ash is the first in an adult contemporary fantasy series will leave you breathless for more. I think I'm sold with Fae, handsome stranger, romance, not to mention all the mysterious stuff that seems to be going on here involving the curse, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Hopefully it'll be soon. Okay, also coming out October 5th is Crossbones by Kimberly Vale. Sorry. This cover is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love it. But let's get into the synopsis. Never trust a pirate. The blood bell tolls, marking the death of the Pirate King and the start of the trials, a heart-stopping competition where the reward is the bone crown. Only one contender can claim the coveted island throne. Each will gamble life and limb to win. Captain Sister Maiden. Cecilia of Abydo yearns to prove her strength to the seasonal pirates who balk at her youth, and to her elder sister who has always craved Cecilia's captainship. She will risk everything to become the first pirate queen, no matter the cost. Dealer's Son Legacy. Kane Blackwater wants to leave behind the dirty gold and shady trade he's made to keep his father's ship, the Iron Jewel, alive. The trials represent a new beginning, yet rumors of a secret heir are swirling, threatening his hopes of becoming the Pirate King. Stowaway Daughter Storm. Lorelei Penny longs for nothing more than to avenge her mother's death. Stowing away on the Iron Jewel was supposed to get her closer to the killer, but instead she finds herself caught up in a deadly battle where loyalty and desire collide. Cecilia, Kane, Lorelei, each on a mission. The sea, however, has other plans. Dark tides are rising, and if they aren't careful, they'll surely drown. I love it when there's like multiple characters and a competition or like these trials. So this is right up my alley. Super interested in this, and I can't wait to pick this one up. Usually I like to read like piratey stories in summer, but who knows, maybe I'll pick this up this winter. So next coming out on October 5th is The Outlaw, Scarlet and Brown by Jonathan Stroud. He is the same author that wrote the Lockwood & Co. series, which I absolutely love. I still need to read the last book in that series. But this one is set in a fragmented future England. The Outlaws, Scarlet and Brown introduce us to a world where gunfights and monsters collide, and where the formidable outlaw Scarlet McCain fights daily against the odds. When she discovers a wrecked coach on a lonely road, there's only one survivor, the seemingly hapless youth, Albert Brown. Against her instincts, Scarlet agrees to escort him to safety. This is a mistake. Soon, new and implacable enemies are on her heels. As a relentless pursuit continues across the broken landscape of England, Scarlet must fight to uncover the secrets of Albert's past and come to terms with the implications of her own. So, another buzzword of mine is like the West, like kind of like Wild West, I guess, but you know, gunfights and outlaws. Like, absolutely love the idea of that, and not to mention I love his other series, so I am definitely going to be picking this one up, and you should check out one of his book series if you want something that's action-packed and fun. And yeah, just pick up one of his books, and this one I hope to be picking up soon. The cover is so cute also. So last coming out on October 5th, we have Paybacks, a Witch by Lana Harper. This is said to be The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina meets the L Word. Now, I've never watched the L Word, so I can't say to that, but I loved The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, so the fact that this is kind of like connected or said to be like that, I'm super intrigued by that. But let's get to the synopsis. Emma Harlow is a witch, but not a very powerful one, in part because she hasn't been home to the magical town of Thistle Grove in years. Her self-imposed exile has a lot to do with a complicated family history and a desire to forge her own way in the world, and only the very tiniest bit to do with Gareth Blackmore, heir to the most powerful magical family in town, and casual breaker of hearts and destroyer of dreams. But when a spellcasting tournament that her family serves as arbiters for approaches, it turns out the pull of tradition, or the truly impressive parental guilt trip that comes with it, is strong enough to bring Emmy back. She's determined to do her familial duty, spend some quality time with her best friend, Lyndon Thorne, and get back to her real life in Chicago. On her first night home, Emmy runs into Talia Aramov, an all-around badass adept in the darker magical arts, who is fresh off a bad breakup with Gareth Blackmore. Talia had let herself be charmed, only to discover that Gareth was also seeing Lyndon, unbeknownst to either of them, and now she and Lyndon want revenge. Only one question stands: is Emmy in? But most concerning of all, why can't she stop thinking about the terrifyingly competent, devastatingly gorgeous, wickedly charming Talia Aramov? Okay, so if that synopsis didn't hook you like it did me, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm excited that this one comes out this month, perfect for spooky season. I'm not sure if I'll get to it, but definitely will be nice to have a spookier book to read in the later months coming. Next, we have a couple books coming out on October 12th, and the first one I'm going to be talking about is Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan. I've heard that this is if Katara and Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender got together, kind of like that. Honestly, that was all I needed to know to pick up this book. I do not really want to know any more than that going in. I think it would be fun to just only know that and no other expectations, so I am not going to read the synopsis for you for that, but I hope that this lives up to all the hype that it's been getting so far. Definitely going to pick this up, hopefully in October, if not very first thing in November. So yeah, that one is coming out very soon and I can't wait. Also coming out on the 12th of October is The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker. So this is an Asian-inspired fantasy. Death is her destiny. Half British Reaper, half Japanese Shinigami Ren Scarborough has been collecting souls in the London streets for centuries. Expected to obey the harsh hierarchy of the Reapers who despise her, Ren conceals her emotions and avoids her tormentors as best she can. When her failure to control her Shinigami abilities drives Ren out of London, she flees to Japan to seek the acceptance she's never gotten from her fellow Reapers. Accompanied by her younger brother, the only being on Earth to care for her, Ren enters the Japanese underworld to serve the goddess of death, only to learn that here too she must prove herself worthy. Determined to earn respect, Ren accepts an impossible task: find and eliminate 3 dangerous yokai demons and learn how far she'll go to claim her place at death's side. So, I love Asian-inspired fantasy. There's just something so unique about it, and it absolutely captivates me every time. So this one's definitely been on my radar. Again, can't wait for this one to come out later on this month. Finally coming out on October 12th, we have Any Sign of Life by Ray Carson. All I know is that I think it's like a dystopian apocalypse one, maybe. Let's read and find out. When a teenage girl thinks she may be the only person left alive in her town, maybe in the whole world, she must rely on hope, trust, and her own resilience. Paige Miller is determined to take her basketball team to the state championship, maybe even beyond. But as March Madness heats up, Paige falls deathly ill. Days later, she wakes up attached to an ivy and learns that the whole world has perished. Everyone she loves and all of her dreams for the future, they're gone. But Paige is a warrior, so she pushes through her fear and her grief, and as she gets through each day, scrounging for food, for shelter, for safety, Paige encounters a few more young survivors. Together they might stand a chance, but as they struggle to endure their new reality, they learn that the apocalypse did not happen by accident, and that there are worse things than being alone. Okay, so anyone else get the Walking Dead vibes from her waking up after an illness or something, and everyone's pretty much gone? Yeah, me too. But other than that, I think that this is going to be an interesting read. It doesn't really give you much to go on, like if it was like a pandemic, zombies, aliens, who knows. But I'm really excited to find out. The next few books come out October 19th. The first one is actually on my October TBR, and that is Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Call. This is about a Heian-era mansion stands abandoned, its foundations resting on the bones of a bridge and its walls packed with the remains of the girl's sacrifice to keep her company. It's the perfect wedding venue for a group of thrill-seeking friends. But a night of food, drinks, and games quickly spirals into a nightmare, for lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. If the cover didn't freak you out, that synopsis definitely should. I hate looking at this cover. It creeps me out too much. But I am so excited to get this one. It's also not really long either. It's like 100 and something pages, I believe. But definitely we'll be picking this up as soon as it comes out. So next is actually one that I just recently found out like a couple days ago. And it also comes out October 19th, and that's Within These Wicked Walls by Lauren Blackwood. The cover is beautiful. I love it. So let's go over the synopsis. What the heart desires, the house destroys. Andromeda is a Debterra, an exorcist hired to cleanse households of the evil eye. When a handsome young heir named Magnus Rochester reaches out to hire her, Andromeda quickly realizes this is a job like no other, with horrifying manifestations at every turn, and that Magnus is hiding far more than she has been trained for. Death is the most likely outcome if she stays, but leaving Magnus to live out his curse alone isn't an option. Evil may roam the castle's halls, but so does a burning desire. Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna get some romance in it, which also drew me in, but an exorcist, like, what? I don't hear about that a lot in new books coming out, so I'm really intrigued by the synopsis, and the cover is beautiful, like I said. And I'm so happy that I saw that this book was coming out in October, because I will definitely be picking it up. So lastly, on October 19th, we have A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I believe this is the first book in her prequel series to A Blood and Ash. I'm not going to go over the synopsis because I don't want to spoil myself or anything, you know, and I know it's a prequel, but I just don't want to know anything because I've heard so much hype about these books that it's almost too hyped for me right now, so I'm waiting to read all these books. So that comes out October 19th. Moving on to October 20th, we have There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. She also wrote some other romance books that people may recognize her name. But let's get into the synopsis. I loathe Alistair Shaw. The city of San Francisco thinks we're rival artists. In truth, we're predators battling for hunting ground. We never chased the same prey until the night we both laid eyes on Mara Eldritch. Shaw wants to use her as a pawn in his twisted game. I'm fixated on her for a different reason. She makes me feel things I never thought I could feel. Want things I never wanted. Only she can make me lose control. I don't know if I should protect her at all costs or destroy her before she ruins me. Mara knows I'm no saint, but she has no idea she's dancing with the devil. So all I really know about this, besides what the synopsis says, is that I think that he may be a serial killer? Maybe? I don't really want to know any more than what it says. I actually have a video planned that involves this book, but it's not really planned until February, so it's going to be a while before I pick up this book, but I am really intrigued by it. And finally, the last book I have on this list is The Grimrose Girls, which comes out October 26th. This says it's The Descendants meets Pretty Little Liars, and I love both of those things. 4 troubled friends, 1 murdered girl, and a dark fate that may leave them all doomed. After the mysterious death of their best friend, Ella, Yuki and Rory are the talk of their elite school, Grimrose Academy. The police ruled it as a suicide, but the trio are determined to find out what really happened. When Nani Assez arrives as their newest roommate, it sets into motion a series of events they couldn't have imagined. As the girls retrace their friends' last steps, they uncover dark secrets about themselves and their destinies, discovering they're all cursed to repeat the brutal and gruesome endings to their stories until they can break the cycle. This contemporary take on a classic fairy tale reimagines heroines as friends attending the same school while investigating the murder of their best friend. They uncover connections to their ancient fairy tale curses and attempt to forge their own fate before it's too late. So I love when a book has a curse in it. One of my favorite tropes, and the fact that this is following like their fairy tale curses, so unique. I'm really interested to see how it kind of connects to The Descendants and Pretty Little Liars. And not to mention this mystery of how their friend died, and if they're gonna break the curse or not. So I think this book is gonna be very good. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Okay, everyone, that's it. That was all 15 of the books that are on my radar for October. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment down below telling me if any of these are on your radar also. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. That would be very greatly appreciated, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.